Title: Stoic Mountains and Bhagavad Gita Rivers, Turning Obstacles into Fuel for Unstoppable Confidence. Chapter 1: The Mountain of Endurance. In the rugged hills of ancient Greece, the myth of Hercules tells of a hero who was tasked with conquering 12 labors, the first of which was scaling the towering pillars of Hercules. Each step up the rocky slope tested his physical limits, but it was the mental fortitude that ultimately allowed him to reach the summit. The mountain was more than a stone wall. It was a mirror reflecting the inner strength of the one who dared to climb. Today, the mountains we face are not made of stone, but of deadlines, criticism, and self-doubt. Yet the lesson remains unchanged. True endurance comes from the discipline of the mind. Observe the small habits that prepare you for the climb. A quiet moment each morning to set intentions, a journal entry reflecting on yesterday's setbacks, a routine of stretching that signals to your body that you are ready for challenges. Imagine you have a project due in 2 weeks. Instead of postponing, you carve out 15 minutes each day to outline the next step. That small, consistent action builds momentum, turning the daunting mountain into a series of manageable steps. By the time the deadline arrives, you find yourself standing on the summit, breathing the victory air. Remember, the mountain does not shrink because you are brave. It shrinks because you act with purpose. As you finish this chapter, pause and consider, how can you transform a single obstacle into a series of small, actionable steps that lift you closer to your summit? Like, share, and subscribe to keep climbing with us. Chapter 2: River of Duty. Across the ancient battleground of Kurukshetra, the Bhagavad Gita unfolds as a dialogue between the warrior Arjuna and his charioteer Krishna. Arjuna, paralyzed by doubt and moral conflict, wonders whether to battle his own kin. Krishna guides him, revealing that his duty as a kshatriya, his purpose, must guide his actions. The river of duty flows relentlessly, indifferent to personal fear, and those who align with its current find clarity amid chaos. In modern life, the river of duty echoes as the alignment of our values with our work. When you start a task that feels forced, you are like Arjuna stuck in the mud of indecision. But when you connect your daily responsibilities to a greater purpose, be it serving a community, generating innovation, or nurturing a family, your actions become effortless, like a boat gliding downstream. To apply this today, ask yourself what your core values are. Write them down. Then, review your daily tasks and vote on which ones truly align with those values. The ones that don't can be delegated or eliminated. As you start to act from a place of purpose, the river runs smoother, and the obstacles that once seemed insurmountable turn into opportunities to demonstrate your commitment. Reflect, which of your current tasks feels the most misaligned with your values, and how can you shift it toward your true purpose? Like, share, and subscribe to flow with us. Chapter 3: Stone in the River. In Chinese folklore, a stone is carried downstream by a swift river, yet it remains unwavering, never allowing the current to dictate its course. The stone's resilience lies in its ability to stay true to its nature while moving harmoniously with the river. It does not resist, it does not surrender. It simply continues forward, guided by its own gravity. Our daily obstacles are like turbulent currents, forcing us to either fight against them or adapt to their rhythm. The stone teaches us that resilience is not about hardening against the flow, but about maintaining our core identity while moving with the inevitable changes in life. A practical way to embody the stone's lesson is through the practice of negative visualization. Each evening, imagine the worst-case scenario: missed presentation, failed project, personal setback. Visualizing these outcomes forces you to confront them without fear, turning anxiety into a tool for preparation. When the real obstacle arrives, you are already mentally equipped to handle it, just as the stone continues its journey unchanged. Consider today, identify one fear that holds you back. Spend 10 minutes visualizing the worst outcome. Then, design a small action plan to mitigate that outcome. The more you practice, the more you anchor yourself like the stone. Reflect, what fear can you confront today with the same calm that the stone exudes? Like, share, and subscribe to stay grounded with us. Chapter 4: Echoes in the Canyon. In a remote Native American tribe, the story of the canyon echo teaches that every spoken word leaves a lasting ripple. When a young hunter shouted into the canyon, the echo responded with a lesson: Be still and listen. The hunter realized that true strength lies not in the roar, but in the silence that follows. In our noisy, digital world, the echo of our thoughts and actions can either drown us or guide us. When we pause, we allow the echo of our inner wisdom to surface, enabling clearer decision-making and stronger confidence. To harness this echo, practice the 2-minute silence before making a major decision. Sit in stillness, breathe, and let your thoughts settle. The quiet will amplify the voice of your intuition, just as the canyon amplifies the hunter's shout. Once you hear that inner echo, act with conviction. Try it today. Before you reply to a stressful email or make a purchase, pause for 2 minutes. Feel the silence, listen to your inner voice, then respond deliberately. Over time, your confidence will grow as you trust the echo of your own judgment. Reflect, how often do you allow yourself the silence needed to hear your inner echo, and what could you gain by doing so? Like, share, and subscribe to echo your confidence with us. Chapter 5, Summit of Confidence. In the modern age, the story of Sarah, a young entrepreneur who launched a tech startup from her apartment, illustrates how obstacles can be fuel. When her prototype crashed during a live demo, she could have abandoned the project. Instead, she used the failure as data, refined her product, and secured a larger investment. Her confidence grew not from avoiding failure, but from turning it into a stepping stone. Confidence is built not by avoiding obstacles, but by learning to ride their momentum. Each setback is a rich source of insight. By celebrating small wins, such as a successful iteration or a supportive customer, you reinforce the belief that you can overcome challenges. Apply this today by keeping a victory log. At the end of each day, write down at least one obstacle you faced and one way you responded positively. Review this log weekly. You'll see a pattern of resilience and a growing sense of self-efficacy. Reflect, what small victory can you celebrate today that demonstrates your ability to turn obstacles into opportunities? Like, share, and subscribe to Rise with Us. Dedicated Philosophy Spotlight, Stoicism. Stoicism, a philosophy born in ancient Greece and refined by Roman thinkers, invites us to master the mind, cultivate resilience, and live in alignment with nature's rational order. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor philosopher, wrote in his Meditations that one should view each encounter as an event and treat each as an opportunity to practice virtue. His disciplined reflection on the world's impermanence provides a blueprint for turning obstacles into confidence. Lesson 1. Focus on what you can control. Stoics distinguish between what is within our power and what isn't. By directing energy toward our thoughts, responses, and actions, we free ourselves from the anxiety of external events. When a project fails, instead of blaming circumstances, we examine our preparation and execution, turning a setback into a lesson. Lesson 2. Reframe obstacles as opportunities. A Stoic view is that obstacles are not merely hindrances, but chances to practice endurance, courage, and wisdom. Marcus Aurelius reimagined every challenge as a chance to affirm his character. When faced with criticism, he would consider it a mirror to improve his virtue rather than a wound. Lesson 3. Practice negative visualization. The Stoics advised imagining the loss of what we cherish. By confronting potential setbacks in our minds, we reduce the shock when they occur, building psychological resilience. This practice is akin to the Chinese stone's calm acceptance of the river's current. In the context of our theme, Stoicism provides the mental framework that allows you to navigate the Stoic mountains and Bhagavad Gita rivers. It teaches you to treat each obstacle with equanimity, turning the mountain's ascent into a disciplined practice and the river's flow into purposeful action. By integrating Stoic discipline with the Bhagavad Gita's emphasis on duty, you create a balanced approach that fuels unstoppable confidence. Closing reflection. You have journeyed through mountains, rivers, stones, echoes, and summits, guided by ancient wisdom and modern applications. Each chapter offered a story, an insight, and a concrete step to transform obstacles into fuel. Now, with the Stoic philosophy spotlight, you possess a powerful mental toolkit to face any challenge with calm and resolve. Let this be your personal mantra. Obstacles are not barriers, they are the terrain that carves the path to confidence. As you move forward, Carry this truth in your heart and let it guide you through the next mountain, the next river, the next stone, the next echo, the next summit. Remember to like, share, and subscribe so we can continue exploring timeless wisdom together. What will you do next to turn an obstacle into your next source of unstoppable confidence?